All right, guys, how's it going? We are going to continue on to the scroll work here on our 1911 slide. Currently trying to set it up to where I can actually do part of the curvature right here. This is going to be the hard part. This is where I'm focusing on, so I'm going to go ahead and move the camera just slightly so it kind of focuses a little bit more on where we'll be working on today. Now, I'm a little different than, and it just kind of depends on the project itself, but sometimes I just like to kind of make a quick sketch out and just flow from there. Some people really like to have the full design already set out. Others do small portions. This is just kind of my workflow for this project as we talk about it. Now, for those of you wondering, we'll be using a 120 degree graver for this today. Zooming out. Okay, set there. We've already got this portion engraved, so I'm just trying to get set correctly so that way all right, now we're set. Like I said, we'll be using a 120 degree graver today. It is polished mirror shine on that heel, as well as I'd like to polish everything else in case anything else touches. We've shined mirror shined the front as well. Actually, I lied, that was not mirror shine, but that doesn't matter. The face doesn't matter. What does matter is the heel and the belly right here. So let's go ahead and adjust that because we'll be working on this portion right here as we speak. Adjust that so you guys kind of get a better idea of where I'm working. All right. Well, let's see how this does. Now, I will say that I wish YouTube Live on phones worked a little bit better. They just, for some reason, it doesn't work the best, as I've noticed. Okay. Now these parts are hard right here because this is the curvature point. So if you've ever heard an engraver talk about how flat things like the sides are actually easy versus the actual curved portions, the curved portions are a lot harder due to the contours and how you have to move with your left hand as well at the same time move with your right hand and not chip. So if you're engraving and you're only moving with your right hand, what ends up happening is you put a lot of stress into the tips and the blade edge of your graver and you will chip it. So you'll actually break your graver a lot faster. So as us engravers do it, we move with our left and then this basically chisels on the right hand. Now, if you're doing it with, say, a hand engrave, what is it? A hammer and chisel. So if I have a hammer and chisel, basically, I'm gonna have my chisel here, and then I would actually basically move with my left arm still as I hammer along. Essentially that's what you're doing with your left hand and the chisel. So we'll keep moving here. Now, if you guys want to learn how to engrave or just enjoy watching it, please feel free to subscribe. All right, there we go. That's that cut right there. So basically I've made my pilot cut already, and that's how I'm going to keep it. Once I have that, we're set. So let's move forward. We'll reset this. This just gives me a little bit better control. Go. Now, the reason I've moved the slide over here is now it's basically in the middle, and so I can shift my ball towards the middle of my rotating table, as well as if I wanted to, I could shift and move this. So let me get set again, and we will get started. All right, refocus the microscope. We're set. Now, I just got a new setup to where I will be streaming off of my microscope. So if you guys actually want to see what I see, I said subscribe. Okay. Set there. And you can see the reflection of where we're set. Now, what you're seeing here is I've painted the slide with just some spray paint, some white matte spray paint, allowing me to really see what we've got going on here. This isn't the actual color of the slide. It's highly polished under there. Once we have our main scroll backbone set and ready, we'll go through, wipe all the paint off with acetone, and then you'll see just where the lines are at. So right now we're just using it to make sure that we get our borders and scroll work set correctly. All right. So now that we have that pilot hole right there, or that pilot scroll backbone set, now I can go ahead and finish my border correctly. Come this way and meet at it. Hmm. We made a slight error right there. We're gonna have to fix that. We can fix that with basically creating a scroll here, but that was an error that I'm not happy with. I was readjusting my hose when that happened, so now I just have to fix it later, which is fine. Flip 300s, thank you, appreciate it. All right, we're set there. All right, we'll go ahead and get started on our border. So I'm looking at it now. I'm gonna wait off on the border. So the border's already been scribed in. We've scratched it in with a compass. As you can tell, we've got the border set right here. Slight glint. We're actually gonna go ahead and start with some of the leaf work on the scroll. The reason I'm not finishing this is because we can still change this a little bit. I've got the main scroll work done in here, but as time goes on, we'll kind of build on it, and that's kind of how my workflow is. I like to build as I go. Like I said before, some people really like having the design layout already set. I'm going more for an artistic feel on this one and just kind of going with flow as I go. So. I'm not super excited about that leaf. Something about it just doesn't seem right. So we're gonna work on it just a second before we move forward with cutting, because once we cut, we cannot go back, and that could be an issue. So I don't mind this. See this negative space right here? I really would like to fill it if I can. So we'll see if I can come up with something. Yeah, I actually like that. So we just have to bring that in, bring that around. We'll start this a little bit wider. Boom. That'll be a big leaf right there. I actually like that. So the reason we didn't do that border, as you're going to tell right now, is we're actually going to go past the border, create some 3D. Now that one, it's all right. I'm not super happy with it. Actually, that was just fine. And we're going to roll into us a little bit because we got a sharp corner right here. And we don't want to put unnecessary stress on the tip because we are engraving pretty deep right now. And that's the style with this. We can do fine work, but we're going for really bright, extravagant work on this one. All right. None of your business, man. All right, cool. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, keep on. We're basically creating scroll work. I mean, it's right now this looks like a dirty mess because it is really focusing on the black portion. I had a previous design, as you can tell with the red. I'm not really happy with the red design. So I ended up throwing some alcohol in it and restarting with the black and blue right here. All right, here we go. Let's look at this. Let's see what we can do about this tip. There's some cool. All right. Set there. Go into this one right here. Now, same thing with this one. We have some negative space there that I want to fill. So we're going to restart this. Just get another little sketch going maybe. Come out this way. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Got a good swoop right there. The other portion. Gotta make sure that we've got the spine set correctly. Oh, frozen. Sorry about that, guys. I think the video froze. But anyways, we're working on this scroll right here. Getting it set. Brennan, oh, sorry, man. It must have froze whenever I was talking about it. Sorry about that. So we are engraving it. So it'll be engraved. So I could do an inlay on this one. I thought about it. But with this one, it's just going to be a deep, bright cut engraving. At which point we'll go ahead and repolish it after we've stippled the background or come up with some sort of background for it. And then we'll go ahead, repolish, recut again to make sure that all the cuts are deep and bright cut, add the shading into it, and then eventually plate it with either some sort of nickel cold bluing, which isn't a plate, but we'll like hot blue or cold blue it, and then or gold plate it as well. So the only thing I'm running into right now is this leaf right here. I want to make sure that it rolls in. And something that a master engraver commented on one of my videos once, and it really stuck with me, was I was making my designs really, really complicated. And he said, keep it simple to 1 to 2 types of leaves. And what that does is it just makes your design look neat and not sporadic. So we are doing 2 types of leaves, really, if I can. It's bright cut. Keep it that way. All right. See my guideline, and we want to start. Again, guys, we're moving our left hand and trying to keep our right hand as still as possible and not use it to really do much movement, because what happens is you put unnecessary stress on that tip. It's one of the things that with engraving that you have to realize, that if you move your right hand too much, you'll actually cause chipping and breakage. My dog can't stand to be away from me, so he's scratching at the door right now. I'll probably let him in here in a second. Brandon, yeah. I mean, if you do gunsmithing, man, that's right up the alley. It really does some awesome things. In fact, right now I'm talking to a gunsmith about. I was gonna do this one with brass inlay because I don't have any gold wire on me right now, just because gold is so expensive. And I was talking about a hot bluing, and it's like, hey, if I throw brass and hot blue, is it gonna affect it? And he said, yeah. So we opted not to put any sort of inlay into it with brass, just because of that. So we're keeping it to basically the bright theme, and once, like I said, we're gonna make everything super bright cut on this, and then take care of the background, go back in, polish it up again, recut again, and then that way it keeps everything bright. So guys, if you're just tuning in, we are hand engraving a 1911 slide currently. It's a Gold Cup National Match Mark IV. Beautiful, beautiful piece that came stock. But we're going to add some scroll, some design, and make it into an art piece at this point in time. If you guys are wondering, do I use laser? Yes, I do use laser once in a while. Not for this one, obviously, but I do have a laser, and you know, as an artist, sometimes we shy away from using new things just because we're stuck in our old ways. But I think you should use every tool in the bag that you can use to create a masterpiece at the end of the day. So let's see, we're gonna set that there. Now we've got some negative space right here, but I think we can take care of that by literally creating another scroll here, and then filling it right there. Yep, see that? So you filled it. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut. So if you notice right here, I'm actually starting with a gap. There's a gap that I'm going to start at right here. Usually you just want to start it from the backbone itself, but there's a gap because there's a border there, and it allows us to create that 3D design as if the scroll work is behind the border. And then on certain areas, like right here, it'll overlap the border, and then making it look like the scroll work is in front of the border line. Giving it just some more depth in the design. Rolling into it. Swoop. Swooping back over. And I went over the border on purpose on that one just so we can create that dynamic look. Awesome. Mike, let's look at your comments. Sorry I haven't gotten back to you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is kind of like my art, and I guess my art medium at the end of the day. I do other types. I like doing like pencil drawings and stuff like that. Pen drawings, sketching. And you know, when I talk to people that want to start this, you know, I'm fairly new as well. Like, I'm pretty new at this. There are people that have been doing this for decades. And you know, I'm in my first shoot year and a half, year-ish hand engraving, I believe. But I love to draw prior, and that's really where it starts. Is if you're wanting to start this, get drawing, designing. There's two types of people out there when it comes to engraving usually, and that's one that people that really know how to draw it and design it, and there are people that know how to cut it and use the tools and sharpen tools. And I guess I should say there's three types of people, and then there's people that know how to do all of it. Now, if you don't know how to design it, usually people will use designs off the internet, buy them, purchase them off people just to practice. You know, and even myself, when I first started designing stuff, I had no idea where to start. There's so much that goes into the design that even now I'm such a novice. That I have to look at other people's designs sometimes and just extrapolate what I'm going to do for mine. And, you know, design mine that way with certain elements at the same time from other people's designs and things like that, styles. Everybody grows a style, and we'll see where mine forms. I'm still so new that mine's kind of a mesh right now. All right, we've got to create a swoop over. So this one's kind of tricky. We don't have a ton of room. So I'm going to create a 3D, just single swoop that comes through. And I say we don't have enough room, but let's see what I can come up with right here. Okay, set here. Sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure that I do this correctly and design it the way that I want to see it. Can I freehand scroll design? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing at this point is once you have your backbone set and you've drawn them in, you can basically start building your leaves as you want, you know, I mean, you know, you can come in with the swoop that way, swoop here, come in that way, and just go like that, right? So let me grab a marker. It'll be easier to show you. All right, here we go. This will be a lot easier to show you now. So when it comes to freehanding stuff, you can, you know, come here, you know, you build that, come here, and boom, and then you go back to your swoop and just do that. And like I said, that's just such a rough piece right there, but you can, that's all you really need. Once you have that, you can really start to build pretty quickly your design. What I'm trying to do here is trying to get an idea of how I'm going to freehand this one. Okay, got a pretty good idea right there. You know, there's people that do really, really fine scroll work. If you guys want to look up like Sam Alfano, man, that guy is amazing with scroll work. Marius Mabelai, I think he's from Spain. The man is a wizard when it comes to creating scroll work. Just, there's some amazing artists. This scroll work that I'm doing here is not a very fine scroll work. It's more so for extravagance and brightness. So the cuts are really bold. But you can get really, really tiny with your cuts. Okay. Set there. We're going to start from here. Go. Now we'll add the 3D form. Yeah, I mean, if you've done, yeah, if you've hand drawn, I mean, hand drawing is awesome. You know, take it digital. You can always sell your designs on Etsy too. I mean, there's a lot of people that laser engrave a lot of stuff, and they'll buy designs. You know, I'm even guilty of it. I've bought designs because I've been too lazy to draw something up, and I need to push something out quickly on a firearm or a knife or whatever it might be. And I find somebody's design, I'm like, oh, that's a sweet design, and I'll buy it off of them. So you can sell your art that way, and never touch an engraver at the end of the day. Okay. All right, set there. Set there. And use a red marker so you can kind of see. So the challenge we have right now is we've got negative space right here. Now, negative space can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. I'm going to try to get rid of as much negative space as possible. And then later on, obviously, wherever there's negative space, we come in with either stippling or we start to like dot it with a small, tiny burr, and we'll just dot it out. Or we can also go in with a flat graver, dig everything out, put ink in there, and it makes it black. We're going for a bright, extravagant look, so we're likely going to use a burr or stippling and then repolish it, and that causes a really extravagant, bright, almost jeweled look, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to think how we're going to want to create a really nice... All right, so I know I have a good idea of how we're going to do a leaf. We're set. We're going to come up. We're going to swoop back up. Right there. I'm going to create another leaf, swoop back up, and there. So then we only have negative space here and a tiny bit here. And that allows us to create that design right there. And that takes up that negative space. Guys, if you're just tuning in, I appreciate any follows, likes, comments. Check out my full videos. I'd like to get more into full videos rather than lives or shorts. But you can see my work. swoop this back in. Actually, since it's already going one direction. I'm going to create some contour here. Awesome. So it's kind of hard to see. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I'll have my microscope set up correct, and you'll actually be able to see what I'm seeing through the microscope, super detailed. That way you can just see how deep some of these gashes go. Go ahead and show you. Let's see if I can make it focus. There we go. So there we go. Let's see. Pop in. Come on. What's up? What's up, buddy? Sorry, my dog wants to come in and say hi, so I let him in. And yes, I have had my dog bumping me. Watch out, buddy. Sometimes I don't like him coming too close just because some of the metal shavings, before I vacuum them up, can be bad. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go. Good boy. Go. So yeah. All right, guys. So that's as far as we're gonna get today. Got some other stuff going on, and go from there. Yes, before I go, I'll go ahead and answer that one. Yes, it's a 120 degree V groove, basically. It's one of these, like right here. And you just got to make sure it is razor sharp, and it stays razor sharp the entire time. If you start to not have it razor sharp, back to the resharpening. In fact, I'll probably resharpen it while I am done with this video. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And until next time, keep on engraving and drawing. Thank you.